Little shop of horrors, little shop of terrors, roll a call. Little shop of horrors, roll, Hello. Alright. Well, you guys, it was bound to happen that I would have not so great of an experience at the theater. I mean, it's just the law of averages, right? When you have seen as many as I have seen, and especially and see as many as I'm seeing in a trip. I got up here Wednesday, December 1st. I am leaving tomorrow morning, Monday, December 6th, and I will have seen 7 shows. So it's bound to happen that you're going to run into one that, and unfortunately it was Little Shop of Horrors, which Little Shop for me has a special place in my heart. The movie came out in the 80s. The show was off Broadway in the 80s. It didn't make it to Broadway till a lot later. I'm not sure if it didn't even make it until like 2000 or somewhere around there. I'll have to go back and look. I didn't. Anyway, but back in the mid-late 80s, it was being done at community theaters. So that was when I was doing a lot of theater. And I never played the lead. I never got to play the lead in a musical because I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy that gets the girl and that sings the beautiful songs and that looks, like a movie star. I was always the sidekick. And then here comes Little Shop where the guy's a nerd. And, and he sings, but it's not that, and I'm like, that's my part. And I actually got cast as Seymour, the lead in Little Shop, at a theater. But it wasn't the theater I was doing a lot of work in. And I went to that theater and that director and said, hey, I'm going to do this. And he said, no, you're not. I said, what? He said, no, we're doing this other show that I need every man I can get. And you're one of our main actors. And if you're going to continue to be, you're going to be in that show. So I did what I was told, and I turned down Little Shop. And then a season later, he's like, okay, now we're going to do Little Shop. And I'm like, yeah, I finally get to be Seymour. And then somebody showed up from out of the blue who got the part. So it's the part that got away. Anyway, all right, so I went to the show last night. First off, it was at the West Side Theater upstairs, which is an off-Broadway show. Don't be scared of off-Broadway, and don't take it based on this review, because I've been to a lot of off-Broadway shows that are just as good a quality as Broadway, sometimes even better, because what happens is they're much more intimate. If you look at my pictures from last night, I took a picture from my seat, and the stage is right there, and it's a small, intimate stage, and I think it was a couple hundred people, probably maybe 400 or 500 people. I don't know. I couldn't tell, but still, it's not like 1,000 or 1,500 people, and so it's an intimate thing, and that's one of the things that's cool about off Broadway. And West Side Theater is a great theater. They do a lot of good work. I've been there a couple times and seen shows, and so that I like. This production, though, was not that great. I just have to be honest with you. First off, for me, it was a little offbeat because as I'm sitting there before the show, in comes this mother with 2 children, and then later her father was to join, and they're right behind me. And I mean little kids. I'm saying probably like 4 and 8. I mean, somewhere in that, little, that are going, Mommy, what does that mean? Mommy, what? And okay, I'm not wild about kids, okay? I'm not a kid guy. But I'm not blaming the kids. I'm blaming the parents. Hey, why are you bringing them to this 2-hour plus show? That's a professional theater. I mean, anyway, and they were loud and they were obnoxious. And it wasn't just me. There was several times that the guy next to me, people across the aisle were like, you have to be quiet. Hush. We missed the show. Yes, I complained. I'm that guy. Because they were way too young to have them to be quiet. It's not Theater is not TV. You know, everybody else can hear you if you're talking. And it was the parents. The parents were going, well, what he's doing is, I'm like, oh my God, shush. Anyway, Jeremy Jordan, who is a favorite of mine, plays Seymour. I love Jeremy Jordan. I've seen him in a number of shows. He has great nightclub acts where he sings and does these phenomenal songs and tells stories. You can YouTube it. He's a very good looking. He is that guy that gets the girl and is the leading character, but yet he really played this part very, very well. I enjoyed his performance very much. That was the highlight of the show for me. The rest of the show really was disappointing. Production value. Tammy Blanchard, who plays Audrey, again, I'm a fan. She did young Judy Garland in one of the Judy Garland movies a while back. I've seen her. She's very good. On the soundtrack for this, they made a new soundtrack of Little Shop for this production. She's really good. Last night, she was really off her game, or she was making really bad character decisions that just were not reading, and I was very disappointed. Christian Borle, who is a Tony-winning actor, who, again, I've seen many times. He broke my heart in Falsettos. He's a fabulous actor. He plays the dentist, but then they had him playing all these walk-on roles, and it's like he'd walk off stage, throw a wig on and a jacket, don some type of fake accent, and run back on. We know it's him. And that's the kind of thing that when we are in community theater and even regional theaters and theaters where they have very, very limited budgets, you do things like that. You do it the best you can. And I think some of our theaters in Lake County do that really, really well. But you have to, because you have limited people and it's hard to find people to come do a role. This is New York. This is professional theater. There are a lot of actors out there who are waiting tables and driving taxis and doing different things. And you could have had them, and you're charging $300 a ticket. Anyway, it was very frustrating, and it really cheapened the whole production to me. The production value, the sound to music ratio was just off. There were times I could barely hear vocals. I really was not happy with the production, and so I don't give it a huge recommendation, although I don't want to trash it. I'm glad I saw it. Don't get me wrong, because I would have been disappointed had I missed Jeremy Jordan, Christian Borle, Tammy Blanchard even, and had I missed Little Shop off Broadway. I would have been disappointed. I am disappointed that I paid what I paid. It was the most expensive ticket I paid this trip, and probably in the top 5 that I've ever paid. And I didn't feel like it was worth it. So anyway, that's my review of Little Shop of Horrors. Take it for what it's worth. I am going this afternoon to see Slave Play, which was on Broadway in 2019. Lots of people have recommended it to me. Everybody I know that saw it loved it. It got phenomenal reviews. They brought it back for a very short time. I'm very excited about seeing it. And then tonight, my last show of this trip will be Moulin Rouge, the musical. So stick with me. See you later. Bye.